If you are over 60 and relying on coffee, energy drinks, or afternoon naps to get through your day, stop for a moment and listen carefully. I hear this complaint almost every week in my clinic. Dr. Marcus, I'm exhausted by 2 p.m. every single day. No matter how much sleep I get, I just can't keep my energy up. Just recently, a 68-year-old patient named Barbara told me the same thing. She had been drinking 4 cups of coffee daily for the past decade. No improvement in her energy levels. What surprised her was this. Her fatigue had nothing to do with sleep or willpower. Her body was critically deficient in one specific amino acid that powers cellular energy production. She was not being lazy. She was biochemically depleted. New research shows that one very common energy mistake, especially in adults over 60, can drain your vitality for years while you blame aging, poor sleep, or lack of motivation. I'm Dr. Marcus Chen, and in this video, I will explain that mistake, why most people overlook it, and the science-backed amino acid that can double your energy naturally so you can reclaim the stamina you thought was gone forever. Before we dive in, drop a comment with your age and where you're watching from today. Are you struggling with afternoon fatigue or relying on caffeine just to function? Write your answer below because your experience helps our entire community. And hit that subscribe button because I share life-saving health strategies like this every week to help you thrive after 60. Most people believe that fatigue after 60 is just a normal part of aging. But in adults over 60, that assumption is often dangerously wrong. Energy decline is not inevitable. In most cases, it is biochemical. Without the right cellular fuel, your mitochondria cannot produce adequate ATP, the energy currency every cell in your body requires. That is why conventional approaches like sleeping more or drinking coffee fail. By the time you feel chronically exhausted, muscle weak, or mentally foggy, your cells may have been energy-starved for months or even years. Here is the problem. As we age, our body's production of certain critical amino acids declines dramatically. By the age of 60, your natural levels can drop by 30 to 50% compared to your younger years. Our cells have lost efficiency in synthesizing these compounds. Dietary intake often decreases. Absorption in the digestive system weakens. Each factor compounds the others, creating a perfect storm of energy depletion. I saw this clearly with one of my patients named Robert, age 71. He felt perpetually tired. He tried B vitamins, iron supplements, thyroid medication. Nothing worked. His wife thought he was depressed. When I ran comprehensive metabolic testing, his amino acid panel told the whole story. He was severely deficient in L-carnitine. What most people do not realize is that cellular energy production requires specific building blocks. It does not just happen automatically. Without adequate L-carnitine, your mitochondria cannot convert fat into usable energy efficiently. In older adults, this deficiency often means relying entirely on glucose for fuel, which creates energy crashes, brain fog, and constant fatigue. This is why so many seniors feel exhausted despite eating well and getting enough sleep. Now here is where the first major mistake happens. Most seniors assume their fatigue is caused by poor sleep, stress, or simply getting older. They never investigate the biochemical reasons behind their exhaustion. But in people over 60, energy depletion almost always has a metabolic root cause. Restoring energy requires addressing cellular function, not just sleeping more. With age, mitochondrial efficiency decreases naturally. Nutrient absorption weakens. Amino acid synthesis declines. Without addressing these factors, fatigue persists regardless of lifestyle changes. This is not rare. It is extremely common. That 68-year-old patient I mentioned earlier, Barbara, was sleeping 8 hours every night. Same bedtime routine, same sleep quality, same consistent rest. Yet her exhaustion continued day after day. When we tested her L-carnitine levels and implemented the proper supplementation protocol, not caffeine or sleep aids, her energy transformed within 6 weeks. This is why addressing the biochemical cause matters just as much as improving sleep habits. If you're finding this helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. It really supports the channel and helps us reach more seniors who need this information. Now, let us talk about the first proven energy restoration method, and this one is extremely powerful. Method number 1 is understanding L-carnitine and its critical role in cellular energy production. If you look at most people's approach to fixing fatigue, they focus on stimulants or more sleep without understanding how cells actually produce energy. They assume fatigue is about willpower or rest, but your cellular energy system depends on specific molecules to function properly. L-carnitine is one of the most critical amino acids for energy production. It transports long-chain fatty acids into mitochondria, where they are burned for fuel. That transport function is absolutely essential. In adults over 60, declining L-carnitine levels mean your cells cannot access stored fat for energy efficiently. I saw this with a patient named Dorothy, aged 66. She had been experiencing crushing fatigue for 3 years. She blamed menopause, stress, and aging. Her doctor told her it was normal. When we measured her serum L-carnitine levels, they were at the bottom 10th percentile for her age group. We started her on 500 milligrams of L-carnitine daily in divided doses. Within 4 weeks, her energy improved noticeably. Within 8 weeks, she told me she felt like a different person. She had energy to garden again. She could play with her grandchildren without needing to rest afterward. She stopped her afternoon naps completely. Research shows that L-carnitine supplementation in older adults improves physical performance, reduces fatigue, and enhances mental clarity. Studies demonstrate that seniors with low L-carnitine levels who supplement experience significant improvements in exercise tolerance and daily energy levels. Another critical point is understanding why L-carnitine deficiency develops in the first place. Your body produces L-carnitine naturally from the amino acids lysine and methionine. That synthesis requires adequate vitamin C, vitamin B6, niacin, and iron. Many seniors are deficient in one or more of these cofactors. Red meat is the richest dietary source of L-carnitine. Vegetarians and people who have reduced meat consumption often have lower levels. Kidney function decline, which is common after 60, reduces the body's ability to recycle and conserve L-carnitine. Certain medications, including some antibiotics and anticonvulsants, deplete L-carnitine stores. There is also a dangerous misunderstanding about energy and metabolism. Some people believe that if they feel tired, they just need more willpower or better discipline. In reality, chronic fatigue in seniors is often a sign of metabolic insufficiency, not laziness. The key lesson here is simple. If you are over 60 and experiencing persistent fatigue despite adequate sleep, your L-carnitine levels may be insufficient to support optimal mitochondrial function. Testing and supplementation can restore energy production at the cellular level. Now we come to the second proven method, and this one addresses a factor most doctors never discuss. Method number 2 is optimizing mitochondrial cofactors that work with L-carnitine. Many people take L-carnitine supplements and see minimal improvement. They assume the supplement does not work. They give up after 2 weeks. What they do not understand is that L-carnitine cannot function in isolation. Your mitochondria require multiple cofactors working together to produce energy efficiently. Those cofactors include coenzyme Q10, alpha-lipoic acid, magnesium, B vitamins, and adequate omega-3 fatty acids. Without these nutrients, L-carnitine supplementation alone will not deliver maximum results. I saw this pattern clearly in a 73-year-old patient named James. He started taking L-carnitine on his own after reading about it online. He took 1,000 milligrams daily for a month. He felt slightly better but not dramatically improved. When he came to my office frustrated, we ran comprehensive nutrient testing. His CoQ10 levels were critically low. His magnesium was borderline deficient. His omega-3 index showed severe insufficiency. His B12 was in the low normal range, not optimal. When we added CoQ10 at 200 milligrams daily, magnesium glycinate at 400 milligrams, a high-quality omega-3 supplement providing 2,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA and methylated B-complex vitamins, his energy transformation was remarkable. After 6 weeks on this complete protocol, James reported energy levels he had not experienced in over a decade. Another overlooked issue is understanding how these nutrients work synergistically. CoQ10 is essential for the electron transport chain in mitochondria. It directly enables ATP production. Without adequate CoQ10, your cells cannot convert fuel into usable energy regardless of L-carnitine levels. Alpha-lipoic acid is a powerful antioxidant that protects mitochondria from oxidative damage while also improving glucose metabolism and insulin sensitivity. Magnesium is required for over 300 enzymatic reactions, including every step of ATP synthesis. Magnesium deficiency, which affects more than half of adults over 60, directly impairs energy production. B vitamins, especially B1, B2, B3, B5, and B12, are critical cofactors in the Krebs cycle and electron transport chain. Deficiency in any single B vitamin can create an energy production bottleneck. Omega-3 fatty acids improve mitochondrial membrane fluidity and reduce inflammation that damages cellular energy systems. For most seniors, the essential mitochondrial support protocol includes L-carnitine at 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams daily in divided doses, CoQ10 at 200 to 300 milligrams daily, preferably in ubiquinol form for better absorption, alpha-lipoic acid at 300 to 600 milligrams daily, magnesium glycinate or malate at 400 to 500 milligrams daily, methylated B complex providing therapeutic doses of all B vitamins, and omega-3 fatty acids providing at least 2,000 milligrams combined EPA and DHA daily. The exact dosing depends on individual testing and health status. Finally, many seniors assume that once they start feeling better, they can stop supplementation. Energy production requires ongoing nutritional support. These are not short-term fixes. They are long-term metabolic investments. I had a patient aged 69 who experienced dramatic energy improvements after 8 weeks on this protocol. She felt so good she stopped all supplements. Within 6 weeks, her fatigue returned. When she resumed the protocol, her energy rebounded within 3 weeks. That experience taught her an important lesson. Cellular energy support is not a temporary intervention. It is an ongoing requirement. By this point, you may realize something important. Most seniors are not refusing to address their fatigue. They are taking incomplete approaches that cannot deliver optimal results. Each missing nutrient creates a weak link in energy production. Together, these gaps prevent you from experiencing the vitality your body is capable of producing. Now, let me walk you through the third proven energy restoration method. This is the approach I use with my own patients over 60. Method number 3 is eliminating hidden energy drains that sabotage your mitochondria. For most seniors, supplementation addresses nutrient deficiencies. But emerging research shows that certain foods, medications, and lifestyle factors actively damage mitochondrial function and drain energy regardless of supplementation. These are active energy destroyers. Your daily habits either support mitochondrial health or undermine it. Many conventional approaches ignore these sabotaging factors entirely. They focus only on adding nutrients without removing toxins and stressors. That approach limits results significantly. I want to break down the most common mitochondrial toxins affecting seniors over 60. First, excess refined carbohydrates and sugar. High blood sugar creates oxidative stress that damages mitochondria directly. Seniors who consume diets high in white bread, pasta, sugary snacks, and processed foods experience chronic mitochondrial inflammation. That inflammation reduces ATP production efficiency and increases fatigue. Switching to a lower glycemic diet rich in vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats can improve energy within weeks. Second, certain medications deplete mitochondrial nutrients. Statins reduce CoQ10 levels significantly. Metformin can lower B12 and CoQ10. Proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux reduce magnesium and B12 absorption. Antibiotics can damage mitochondrial DNA. If you take any of these medications, you must supplement the depleted nutrients or accept chronic fatigue as a side effect. Third, the appropriate management of chronic inflammation. Inflammation is not just uncomfortable. It actively drains cellular energy. Inflammatory cytokines disrupt mitochondrial function and reduce ATP output. Chronic pain conditions, autoimmune diseases, obesity, poor dental health, and gut dysbiosis all create inflammatory burdens that exhaust your energy systems. Anti-inflammatory nutrition, omega-3 supplementation, curcumin, and addressing root causes of inflammation can restore significant energy. Fourth, understanding sleep quality versus sleep quantity. Many seniors sleep 8 hours but wake unrefreshed. Poor sleep quality prevents mitochondrial repair and regeneration. Sleep apnea, which affects up to 50% of adults over 60, causes repeated oxygen deprivation that damages mitochondria. Restless leg syndrome disrupts deep sleep stages when cellular repair occurs. If you sleep 8 hours but still feel exhausted, investigate sleep quality issues. Treating sleep apnea alone can double energy levels in affected individuals. Fifth, environmental toxin exposure. Heavy metals like mercury, lead, and aluminum accumulate with age and damage mitochondria. Pesticide residues on non-organic produce contain mitochondrial poisons. Plastics release hormone-disrupting chemicals that interfere with energy production. Mold exposure in homes creates mycotoxins that severely impair mitochondrial function. Reducing exposure and supporting detoxification pathways improves energy significantly. Sixth, chronic stress and cortisol dysregulation. Prolonged stress elevates cortisol, which disrupts mitochondrial function and promotes muscle breakdown. Seniors under chronic stress from caregiving, financial worry, or relationship conflict experience energy depletion regardless of nutrition. Stress management through meditation, therapy, or lifestyle changes is not optional. It is essential for energy restoration. Seventh, sedentary lifestyle and muscle loss. Muscles contain the highest concentration of mitochondria in your body. Muscle loss through inactivity means losing your primary energy-producing tissue. Regular resistance training and movement stimulate mitochondrial biogenesis, the creation of new mitochondria. Even walking 30 minutes daily increases mitochondrial density and improves energy production capacity. I had a patient aged 70 who followed the complete supplementation protocol perfectly. Her nutrient levels were optimal, but her energy remained mediocre. When we investigated her lifestyle, the problems became clear. She was taking a statin without CoQ10 supplementation. She consumed a high-carbohydrate breakfast of cereal and juice that spiked her blood sugar every morning. She had untreated sleep apnea causing 40 breathing interruptions per hour. She lived in a home with visible mold in the bathroom. She was under severe stress caring for her husband with dementia. She never exercised due to knee pain. We addressed each factor systematically. We added CoQ10 at 300 milligrams daily to offset statin depletion. We shifted her breakfast to eggs, vegetables, and berries to stabilize blood sugar. We arranged a sleep study and CPAP therapy for her sleep apnea. We coordinated mold remediation in her home and added air purification. We connected her with a caregiver support group and respite care services. We started her on gentle chair exercises and aquatic therapy for movement without knee stress. Within 4 months, her energy transformation was dramatic. She described it as going from surviving each day to actually living again. At this point, it is important to understand one critical truth. Supplementation is powerful, but it cannot overcome active mitochondrial damage. There are situations where even perfect nutrition will not restore energy if sabotaging factors remain unaddressed. One of the most common issues is undiagnosed thyroid dysfunction. If your thyroid hormone levels are suboptimal, mitochondrial function suffers regardless of L-carnitine or CoQ10 supplementation. Another overlooked factor is chronic dehydration. Even mild dehydration reduces ATP production and increases fatigue. Seniors often have blunted thirst signals and drink insufficient water. Anemia is another silent energy destroyer. Low iron, B12, or folate means inadequate oxygen delivery to mitochondria. Without oxygen, energy production collapses. There is also the issue of undiagnosed diabetes or prediabetes. Elevated blood sugar damages mitochondria while also preventing efficient fat burning for energy. If these underlying conditions exist, they must be identified and treated. This is why comprehensive metabolic testing should always be part of an energy restoration protocol. Do not assume that supplements alone will solve complex metabolic problems. I want to share a quick example. A 75-year-old woman came to me exhausted despite taking L-carnitine, CoQ10, and B vitamins for 6 months. She had seen minimal improvement. Further testing revealed severe iron deficiency anemia from chronic bleeding hemorrhoids she had ignored for years. Her hemoglobin was 9.2, well below normal. Once we treated her anemia and brought her hemoglobin back to 13, her energy improved dramatically within 4 weeks. The supplements could finally work because we addressed the underlying problem. Now, let us continue with the fourth proven energy restoration method. Method number 4 is optimizing your feeding window and macronutrient timing. Many seniors dismiss meal timing as unimportant. They eat the same breakfast, lunch, and dinner pattern they have followed for decades. What they do not understand is that when you eat, and what you eat at specific times, has profound effects on mitochondrial function and energy levels throughout the day. Your body's energy systems respond differently to nutrients at different times. Eating refined carbohydrates for breakfast triggers insulin spikes and energy crashes by mid-morning. Consuming large evening meals diverts blood flow to digestion when your body should be entering repair mode. Constant snacking prevents your cells from accessing stored fat for fuel. These patterns keep you trapped in energy-depleted states.